Welcome back to toofab, and we are chatting today with Dominque Tipper, star of The Expanse. Welcome.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you. Thank you. So speaking of, how does it feel to be, this is the 5th season coming out, and there's a 6th season, to be on such a critically acclaimed show on the 5th and 6th season?
I mean, it's crazy. Like, you don't really consider that, or that, you know, I mean, how much content is there these days? How many TV shows are there? It's rare that, you know, people genuinely think something is pretty excellent. So I think in that respect, it's really cool. But also, I'm not surprised in that I think, you know, this show is quite unique in the way it deals with the social, political climate and how it kind of is so paralleled to what goes on, is going on today. And so I kind of get why it's so kind of respected. And also the writing is excellent. The way that the characters are written is gorgeous. The way that the science is executed is flawless. So there's a lot to kind of celebrate on The Expanse. And so I'm very proud to be a part of it.
That's great. Like, without giving too much away, how do you, like, what happens to your character this season? Like, how does your character evolve?
Well, I mean, season 5 is quite the journey for Naomi. We have been planting these seeds of her backstory, these seeds of her past since season 1. And so with season 5, we kind of really get to, in real time, explore what has been kind of bubbling away underneath the whole time. And so I think that's really rare that in season 5 of a show, we get to really dig into this deep, dark, secret tapestry of a character. And not only do we dig into it, there's so much there, and there's so much kind of hiding underneath. So with confronting a very delicate part of her past, which involves a son that she had to leave, it's quite a heavy but kind of rewarding, I think, if you've been watching the whole time, season for the character, for Naomi.
Yeah, what I saw, it's very emotional. So.
Yeah. Grab your
SciFi, it seems like SciFi program shows always kind of have a more diverse character world, which, how do you react to that? How is your reaction to that, to The Expanse being such diverse characters and actors?
I mean, you know, for me, diversity is like normal. Like, we don't exist in a world full of one type of person. It's what makes Earth and humanity beautiful. And so to me, it's just like, you know, the result of shows not being diverse is nothing to do with the world not being diverse. We know where it comes from. We know it comes from structural racism. We know it's from the root of kind of white supremacy. And you know what it is. So the fact that we're beginning to catch up is exciting. So I'm kind of proud to be on a show that since 2014 was very much at the forefront of being a diverse show. And just, I think sometimes when things are based in the future, we can remove them a little bit from what's going on. And so therefore just kind of pack it full of how a thing should be. And so I think our show is probably one of the most diverse on TV, but I just think that's why it's so good, because with variation comes richness, with variation in experience comes richness, with variation in faces, and all of what comes with that is it makes life rich, and therefore it lends to the richness of art. So I'm excited to be on a show that never shied away from that and lent fully into it, but isn't also centered on people's races, because that can be problematic in itself. We're just there, and we're living, and we're experiencing, and we're flawed, and we're nasty, and we're fabulous, and we're all these things that humans are. We're humanity. So I do love that about The Expanse. But I don't just love that it's diverse, I love the way they've gone about it. So yeah, that's how I feel about that.
In the same vein, it's, how does it feel to have so many like strong, awesome, different women characters on the show?
Again, it feels very normal. Like, I know these women.
Right.
for me, I'm like, oh yeah, like drama. Like I know her, I know Bobby Draper, I know Naomi, I know Avasarala, and I just think again we're really breaking away from these quite damaging ideas of women and men and Black people and white people and Asian people. Like we're starting to just go, oh yeah, humans. Is a woman, but is like the most snaky kind of ambitious politician we've ever come across. That's not exclusive to being a man or woman. And so I just think when you give genders like a certain characteristics, you're limiting. It's wonderful because it's real. And I think that's what I love about it is it's, you know, but this is also not to take away the fact that it has been limited in us seeing that on screen. But again, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is how it should be. And I think the more of that, the better. But I do again love that the women on this show are not constrained by ideas of what women are. We just are humans again, just doing shit and getting things wrong and trying to fix them and dealing with our pasts. And that's how it is in life.
Real world, yeah. So on the show, you know, everyone gets to either kind of have different costume or makeup, and you're in this different world. And when I was watching last night, I was like, does that feel like when you're doing this, does it feel like the pure joy of acting for you? You know, maybe you're like a child and you were playing make-believe, and it's like, that's the thing that's really like hooks you, I guess.
I mean, it's weird because like, I love dressing up. You can probably tell I'm like the person when we go to events and stuff who's like got some on. And I do think there is something childlike in being someone else, portraying them, taking on like, and also in imagination. I think sometimes that's what we lose as adults is our power to imagine. And that's quite a childlike quality. And so although the show is very serious and it's very serious themes, you know, at the core of it, for sure, one of the things I love acting for me, why I love acting for me is the use of the imagination and the playing with that and making up backstories and creating lives for these people that is just kind of out of thin air. I mean, I guess we have the source material on The Expanse, but pretty much when you take on a character, you're crafting them from scratch, their wants, their needs, their choices, their past. And that is quite a delicious aspect of the work, the craft that I for sure loved doing. And then, yeah, putting on the outfit is great. It's weird though, because costumes really do solidify something for me in the character. Like, and also things like tattoos and things they have in their pockets and the way they wear their hair, because, you know, we don't take apart ourselves like that, but there's a reason for every choice we make about how we present ourselves into the world. And it's really interesting doing that with characters. So, yeah.
That's great. Lastly, I just want to say there appears to be a lot of drinking in outer space with all the characters. Is there any drink during the holiday season you prefer? It could be non-alcoholic or...
Well, I'm a red wine girl. I don't know if I'm allowed to show that on. I love my red wine, but my holiday drink, like my Christmas drink, is Baileys. I always have quite a few Baileys at Christmas, and my grandma got me into sherry, which is hilarious. So I've been drinking sherry at Christmas as well. So those three are probably my main holiday drinks: sherry, Baileys, and good old red wine.